spoiling the shit out of Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm joined here by Prime.
Guten Tag. Guten Tag.
I'm joined by probably the godfather of Spider-Man, our boy Average Joe. What's going on, man?
I'm the godfather of Spider-Man.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's between you and a couple other people that are like uber hype for Spider-Man.
Stan Lee?
Stan Lee, yeah, Stan Lee, of course. I mean,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah, that guy.
So
I'll take it. I didn't know that. I'll take it.
Hey, I'm just saying, so we're going to talk about Spider-Man Homecoming. We're not pulling any punches. We are, like, spoiling the shit out of this. So if you haven't seen it already, avoid this podcast. Otherwise, jump in and listen and such.
Or better yet, listen to it while you watch the movie. Be outlaw, be gangster.
A bootleg or actually in the theaters.
In the theater, just put your headphones in. We'll guide you through it. It's okay. That's okay.
So, I gotta say, I figured the Spider-Man going to the MCU, majority of us was basically like, oh yeah, this movie is going to be great. The question was, what level of greatness were we gonna get? And what we got was a pretty damn good Spider-Man movie. And I guess starting with Joe, man, what was your thoughts coming out the theaters when you saw this?
I thought it was pretty close to perfect for Spider-Man, as you're gonna get. I mean, they changed some shit and, introduced new characters, and I saw a lot of people complain about that, but, when you've done when you rebooted a character 3 times in 15 years, you kind of got to give some leeway for, like, well, we're not going to rush to do Mary Jane or this or this. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, when I saw the original Spider-Man, I liked it. I loved it, except for the third one, because we know how bad that is.
Oh, yeah.
When I saw the reboot, I liked it because it was different. But this one was like, I walked out of the theater going, that's fucking Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Peter Parker.
That kid that plays him, like, Robert Downey Jr. born to play Tony Stark. Chris Evans born to play Captain America. You know what I mean? I would now put it in that conversation, because that is exactly how I've always pictured Peter Parker. And my problem with the other guys was Tobey was too fucking old, and he was too monotoned to be Spider-Man.
And mobile.
And then, yeah, and then Andrew Garfield was too fucking tall and too good looking. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm serious. Like, look at Andrew Garfield, and I'm like, that motherfucker's like, I was Peter Parker in high school. You know what I mean? Like, Come on. Like, that motherfucker's a nerd. This kid, he's not ugly, but he's not, like, a model. He's short. He's 15. You know what I mean? Like, he's so good. And Michael Keaton and just everybody in the movie was...
Oh, we'll get to Michael Keaton,
better.
Man. Oof.
Yeah. It was exactly how I've wanted Spider-Man to be since these movies started 15 years ago.
Cool. What about you, Prime?
So when I left the theater, the first time I saw it, that feeling you get when you get out of after you worked a long, hard day, maybe you jog, maybe you work in the yard, and you first step out of the shower and you're refreshed and renewed.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I had coming out of Spider-Man Homecoming. Like, Spider-Man is in my top 2 favorite superheroes. Like, he constantly, the top slot changes depending on my mood or the time of day. So I'm very invested in this character. So I take any iteration of Spider-Man personally. I probably shouldn't, because I don't have any money invested in it, so I don't know why I'm so highly invested in the character. But, like, Spider-Man is my dude. He's my guy.
Yeah.
So I have to totally agree with Joe on Tom Holland's portrayal of Spider-Man. Like, Tobey Maguire, I always felt like he was a pretty decent Peter Parker. He got the awkwardness and the, gee, my life fucking sucks shit aspect of Peter Parker down. But I thought he was a horrible Spider-Man. I thought Andrew...
Garfield.
I blacked out his... Thank you, Garfield. Mr. Garfield. I thought he was a great Spider-Man because he had the quippy, he had the energy, he had the essence of what Spider-Man is in costume. But, like, his manic, depressive, mopiness as Peter Parker really didn't connect with me. But I feel that Tom Holland was a great Peter Parker and a great Spider-Man. they finally got the guy. They finally cracked the formula and got the right mix, a little from column A and a little from column B.
Yeah, I mean, I was excited clearly and stuff. I figured the kid. I mean, what little we saw of him in Civil War, I figured, hey, we're gonna get that. My thing with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is that I loved him as Spider-Man because he got the shit talking down as like Spider-Man.
Yep.
And I really feel bad for him because he's been turned into the Colin
Hold up, the Colin what?
Baker / George Lazenby of Spider-Man.
Oh yeah,
like it's not his fault. Like I see a lot of people keeping shit on him. And it was like that's not fair to him, man. He was a pretty good Spider-Man. And he played the Peter Parker that he was given to the best of his abilities. It's just that it's unfortunate about the things that happened around him.
Oh yeah. It was we covered that much on the Sony email shit. Sony kind of dealt him the shitty card, and he was just like, I guess this is what I gotta run with. So fuck it, it is what it is and stuff. One of the things I know, me and D, we were talking about this before the movie. The promotion clearly, had a lot of Tony Stark, and I knew this was a trick by Marvel because I was like, no, they wouldn't sit there and give you a Spider-Man movie and have that shit be nothing but Tony Stark. And as expected, he was barely like a factor in the movie much, which was a good thing, Because I'm pretty sure y'all heard all the it's Iron Man 4 and stuff, and it's like
not really.
Nah.
I mean, like I had that fear going in too. Like I was like, I really hope they don't lean too heavily on the MCU, like poking you in the ribs, going, "Hey, we're in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, guys. Hey, look, Spider-Man MCU. He was always here. Look, guys, look." Like I was afraid of that. Like, and they like walked the line on that really carefully. Like it.
Oh, that beginning?
Almost
the beginning of the movie?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Hey, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine.
I mean, I thought it was cool. I liked the opening with Virtue's origin. I thought that was pretty good, and instantly you could see where he was coming from and his motivations.
Like, fuck you, 1%ers.
Yeah, I know, right? But, like, Tony was in it the perfect amount. They didn't lean too heavy. Like I said, they walked that line, but it didn't get on my nerves. You know how it didn't. It wasn't like winking in your face too hard.
Yeah, easily and stuff. Fuck it. I want to bury a lead. Fuck it, let's talk about Mike Keaton.
Man?
You know what? The Vulture. I was okay. I like the look. I saw the trailers. I like the look and stuff. Right. I was curious on how they were going to play his character and stuff. Like, is he going to really be this menacing character? And look, Michael Keaton, he fucking knocked the shit out the fucking park.
He's Michael Keaton.
I mean,
what you expect?
Yo,
even if a movie is really shitty, Michael Keaton is going to be a highlight in it.
Oh yeah, easily.
That's a good. Yeah.
Easily, man. You know what's funny? I like that movie, The Other Guys, and he was fucking hilarious in that movie as the chief.
Oh, dude. TLC quotes.
The TLC quotes, like, is that TLC? Nah, man, nah. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Come on now.
What was that sequence when they caught him working in? Was it Lowe's?
I think it was Bed Bath and Beyond.
Oh yes. That shit had me crying laughing, man.
But the scene where he literally turns around to Peter and was like, "Yo, you cross me, I will fucking kill you and your family." I was like, "Oh, okay." Like he really meant that. Like that wasn't even no ha-has, no laughing. Oh, you're serious? Okay, he means business. And that kind of put him up there as like my top MCU villain easily.
Oh no!
I still say that you have to give it to Loki. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, he ain't overwriting Loki. He ain't overwriting Loki. I'm just saying he's top at least.
He's probably as far as cinematic goes, he's definitely number 2.
Oh yeah, easily.
You know what I mean? But like when you talk about the Marvel movie villains are notoriously throwaway characters, and they shouldn't be. Red Skull shouldn't be a throwaway character.
Yeah.
And he was. And, like even Ego, the Living Planet, Kurt Russell, I was like, I don't give a fuck about him. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I was just like, all right, whatever. So, like, the Marvel cinematic villains are notoriously weak. Their TV villains are fucking outstanding.
Oh, yeah.
Kingpin, Cottonmouth, all that shit. But when you have Michael Keaton, you're like, all right, I mean, at least what Michael Keaton didn't show up to collect a paycheck. And I remember when they were casting this movie and they had, he was in discussions and he fell out and then it was like, fuck. But then I remember when it was rumored he was going to be the Scorpion, and it was like, fuck, I'll do that. I'll take that. But then he fell out of negotiations, and he came back in. And the second he was cast, I mean, aside from Robert Downey Jr., who you knew was going to be in it as Tony Stark, and obviously he brings a big name to that movie.
Yeah.
When you get Michael Keaton to return to a superhero franchise, when he's kind of notoriously been like, meh, you know what I mean? Like, he's kind of been down on the superhero movie genre, and you're like, hey, we want you to play the bad guy in Spider-Man. You know the script and the movie itself has to be good enough to get somebody of his caliber interested. So, the second he was cast as Vulture, and then you start seeing the flight suit, which was fucking outstanding.
Whew, man, that shit was like golden.
And you know what the best part about him was? He wasn't really a villain. Like, you kind of were like, yeah, like, I like these villains that aren't, like, twirling their mustache and fucking tying women to train tracks and shit. Like, I like the villains that are heroes. Well, I like villains that are only villains to heroes.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, to himself, he's not a villain. He's like, yeah, this is what I'm fucking doing. Like, and just Keaton, he's so fucking good, man. He's so good.
Man, and the thing that I like about it and stuff, because I always sit there and say, like, with him, like you said, he was doing it to make, ends meet and stuff and keep his lifestyle going with his family and stuff. And I like how it's plotting sees that it's fucking successful because all those weapons that they stole and reduced and made them like out of the alien tech and all that stuff, that's spread out in the world now.
Yep.
So just because he stopped, it's like, okay, well, his weapons are still out there. So it's not like everything just got put to a halt. It's like, nope, it's still out there. Tinkerer is still out there. Who, by the way, I like the guy playing the Tinkerer. He was actually pretty good.
Did a great job. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I need to see more of him in like the other stuff because that's a character. If you ever read the comics, he is a person that heroes and villains usually go to fix shit anyway. So yeah,
he's just out for money.
Yeah. So I need that guy to still be a fixture of some sort and stuff. I mean, we even seen because this isn't new to just this movie. I mean, we seen in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. the first season where we saw like some of the like black op, kind of like the black market in the MCU is just hot with like all the tech from like Iron Man and Avengers and all this stuff from when S.H.I.E.L.D. got disbanded and all that stuff. So the sky's the limit on what they can do because I'm ready for the Sinister Six at this point.
Not yet, man.
I know it's coming, but I know that they're just seeding shit now because they dropped in Matt Gargan, they dropped in Shocker. In bit roles, which I thought was actually pretty cool.
I have a question about Shocker. Did you guys get I don't know if you want to call it impression, but that he was using those shock gauntlets from Crossbones?
Yeah, they were.
Those were, yeah.
Yeah, those were his. Those were the gloves and stuff because they actually made it known that that's what it was.
So, like I don't know if you guys remember the set photos from like 6 months ago where they showed the actual Shocker costume with the mask and everything.
Yeah.
He was wearing completely different gauntlets, and he had two. If you look at those photos, they're totally fucking different. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
We never got to see Shocker in full costume, so I'm kind of wondering like why'd they cut so much shit out?
They probably don't want that complaint about there being too many villains.
That is,
even though there were a lot of fucking villains in this movie.
But the way you do it though, and I think that was something that kind of hindered Amazing Spider-Man 2 is that they put so much stock on the villains that the villains in Amazing Spider-Man 2 kind of took over the plot of what Peter was going through with Gwen. So at that point, it's like, well, we're just building up to Gwen getting her neck snapped, right? Okay, I guess. I mean, cool. It sucks.
There's a time and a place for that, but like not in your Amazing Spider-Man series, which you set up is to be like Peter Parker's. Like there's a dark secret with the Parker family that we're gonna explore. What's a dark secret? It's actually the same Spider-Man story you've seen for 30 years. Woo!
Yep.
And this one, it was like, all right, well, we'll just see these. Like I said, I was fine with them making people like Matt Gargan and them just bit roles. Like they're there for a minute, but the focus is still on Vulture and Peter, and that's it. And it's
I love that it was homeboy from Better Call Saul too.
Oh man, I love him in Better Call Saul. He's like one of the fucking highlights of that show.
But you know what? You know what sucks though is like, first of all, the Scorpion tattoo was like okay. Scorpion from the Ultimate Universe is like, I think he's Russian actually. I think when he fought Miles Morales, wasn't he like a Russian fucking arms dealer or something?
So. Yeah, I believe so. It was.
All right.
Yeah.
What kind of sucks is I've been saying for fucking years, like, I don't want to see the Green Goblin anymore. We've already seen Doc Ock. I don't really need to see Venom. Start using villains that have, like, Vulture. Perfect. Vulture's always been kind of like a D-list Spider-Man character.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a fucking old guy in a flight suit. Like, ooh, okay. They made him into, like, this really fucking menacing, you know, villain for Spider-Man. Show me the Scorpion next. You know what I mean? Spider-Man has some of the best villains because the majority of his villains are kind of animal-based, like he is.
I mean, the chameleon. You know? I mean, he got the chameleon, the person that can actually use. And if you really, you know, the funny part is with the chameleon, it's not that far-fetched because you can literally use like not cloaking technology, but you remember that disguise that Black Widow used in Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
You can use that. That's the chameleon right there. Just that kind of technology.
Yeah, have that guy get a hold of that shit. You have that guy get a hold of that shit. Have the Tinkerer, you know, fuck it around, do whatever. But like, the point I was trying to make is like, so you show the Scorpion, you show Mac Gargan. What kind of sucks is, you know, if they announce that he's the villain for the next movie, they're going to recast it.
Well, they said that he's supposedly, and this is where the confusion with Sony is and stuff. Supposedly, Mac Gargan is going to be in that Black Cat and Silver Sable movie, which I don't foresee happening.
That fucking 7 people will watch.
I don't foresee happening. I think Sony is just trying to sit there and throw their dicks on the table to be like, we can do a movie too, and it's like, no, that's not happening. But okay.
Show. I mean, Scorpion. Like now you have alien technology into.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You have the Tinkerer who can, you know, take that technology and do whatever he wants with it. Why not build that Scorpion suit and let that, you know what I mean? Like, it's, I don't know, it's just such a, you know, had the Scorpion showed up in the Amazing series, he would have been like a mutant.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, they had the Rhino literally in a freaking tech suit, like a tank suit or whatever, and I'm like, all right, I mean, that is from the Ultimate Universe a bit, so I guess, I mean, you know, but, you know, I did kind of chuckle a little bit at the Aunt May jokes, a little bit.
You mean Aunt May I?
Yeah, Aunt May I, Aunt May I. I thought that was, you know what was interesting? Okay, here's what's interesting to me, right? And it goes back to what I always say, where our people need to do their research on like the characters and stuff, right? So when they cast Marissa Tomei, a lot of people were like, "Why is Aunt May so young?" And I'm like, "Well, in the Ultimate Universe, they kind of made her look like she's like 40-ish."
In the Spectacular Spider-Man, she was a MILF.
Yeah, MILF-ish. You know, and that's a cartoon. You know, she could basically hold her own. She wasn't like the craggly old woman. So I'm like.
Oh,
okay.
What's the female version of a silver fox? What are those called?
Cougars.
Oh, no, not the same, is it?
I don't know.
But she was that. She was a female silver fox.
Yeah, and I mean, I thought that was actually pretty cool and stuff like that, and just how, like, I don't know, it was funny because I thought she was actually gonna have like a little bit of a role in the movie, but like she was there. Being Aunt May to a point, but I guess I was waiting for her to expound some wisdom a little bit and stuff. But
now I heard they cut out a couple of scenes with her in it, and I think I read something that when Marissa Tomei was talking about it, how they cut out a scene where she had like adventures away from Peter and was trying to cover those up.
Oh, okay. Yep. Makes sense. 'Cause, I mean, I do remember seeing like a scene where they were walking along the streets of New York and stuff. So that, yeah.
Now, was it just me, or did you guys notice how they tried to age her up by giving her those glasses and those high 70s pants?
It's the same thing they did Diane Lane in Batman in the Man of Steel movies. I'm like, Diane Lane is fine as hell.
But she's still fine as hell. You're just making it worse. That's all you're doing.
That's all you're doing.
It's not.
Marissa Tomei is what? She's got to be what, almost 60?
She's in her 50s.
She's fucking, I mean, I was like, God damn it, like, it's not working. It's not, if you're trying to make her kind of uglier, or whatever you know what I mean? Like it's failing fucking.
I mean, I watched the Lincoln Lawyer. No bullshit. I watched the Lincoln Lawyer like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, man, she was fine as hell in Lincoln Lawyer and shit. So yeah, this ain't doing it for me, man.
She's 52.
Yeah, 52. 52. I mean, yeah, they really.
Dude, that's why Peter should have been getting picked on at fucking school. When I was in high school, if one of my friends had like a hot mom or something, oh my god, we gave him so much shit. You know what I mean? Oh, dude, I'm gonna do this to your mom, and you know what I mean? Like just shit like that. And like,
oh my god,
I get that this is a PG-13 movie or whatever, but like, I'm like, that's why you pick on Peter. Look at his fucking Aunt May.
Now, here's the $1 million question for you guys. All right. So we see now if Aunt May's looking like that, right?
Yep.
If they ever do some sort of flashback with Uncle Ben, who would you pick to be Uncle Ben?
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks? Interesting. That's actually that's actually a pretty good one. Huh.
He's Tom Hanks.
Yeah. What about you, Prime?
You know what? I wouldn't cast him. I would avoid it. I wouldn't do it. I would do it. You know what? I wouldn't even. I'm
just saying, if you did have to cast it, that's all I'm saying. If
I had to, I haven't put him in a start to it because I like the idea of Uncle Ben just being like the specter that hangs over the movie. Like
that's a good one.
His memory's too painful to even bring him up. Sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Tom Hanks actually, damn, that is a good choice though. It's just flashback to when he's like on the ground about to die and stuff and tells Peter what great. Damn, that is.
Well, you know that I was going to say Tom Hanks. I was going to say fucking Bryan Cranston, or I was going to say like Christoph Waltz or some shit like that because those are my go-tos.
I feel Bryan Cranston, man. It's like you've been going for him ever since like they didn't get him in fucking Batman v Superman. I'm like, well, we got him in Zordon. That's a good one, right?
Yeah, well, you're right, but like, dude, I mean, I agree about Uncle Ben though. I don't necessarily need to see him. I like that they kind of just quickly referenced like, the tragedy real quick.
Yeah.
Like she's going through some shit, and they moved on. But I still would love a quick scene of the Great Power because we didn't get that in Amazing Spider-Man. He gave him that bullshit like workaround speech.
Variation of it.
But I mean, you tell me that you put Tom Hanks in a cameo, just theoretically speaking here.
Yeah.
And you show him die, and you show Tom Hanks die, and Tom Hanks give Peter Parker that fucking speech, one of America's most beloved actors of all time, people aren't going to be like, oh my god, you know what I mean?
Crazy part is you don't even have to age him up to be Uncle Ben. That's the crazy part about it.
No, you don't. And I mean, he kind of fits with Marissa Tomei. They're roughly the same age.
Yeah, just about and stuff.
Now you mentioned Christoph Waltz. Now hold on, let me get on that for a second. You say that, and I'm like, all I can see now is him as a chameleon.
Ooh,
I would do that. There you go.
Ooh, that is a good one.
I'm not mad at that.
Ooh, man, that's a good. Wow, jeez. See, Prime is on the money on this one. That is like spot on, like Chameleon and Chris. Man.
Now I'm like, you know why? Though, because I would do Chameleon and Craven together, and maybe do like I don't want to jump the gun and say Craven's Last Hunt, but bro, that's such a good book, man.
I would have done, but I know it's not going to happen. I would have done Jason Momoa.
Oh
man, if he wasn't Aquaman, he would have. Man, yeah. Listen. First off, you would have got all the ladies going to the movies just to see fucking Momoa as fucking Craven. He'd be like no shirt on and shit, fucking war painting it up. So you already know the ladies are gonna come there for Momoa. But man, yeah.
Dude, since Amazing Spider-Man 1 came out, okay, and they announced the Lizard, I was like, okay, the next one, give me the Scorpion's origin. The Scorpion is the villain, and then Craven learns about this Spider-Man and this Scorpion guy, because he's a big game hunter, comes to New York City to capture, to kill these guys. It's the perfect setup for two, not A-list Spider-Man characters. Again, like an A-list Spider-Man character to me is like Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Venom. They're kind of B-list characters.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would have been overcrowded, especially if you had gotten solid actors to play both roles.
I mean,
but he's Aquaman now, so that's
I mean, if they didn't get him for Venom, I would have said Tom Hardy is fucking Kraven.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
Really? I guess I could see that.
Yeah,
he's kind of a short guy though.
Yeah, you know what? I keep forgetting that too because I'm thinking he's like at least like 5'9", 5'10", maybe. I assumed. I
Dude, that
swear to God,
motherfucker's like 5'7".
Jeez,
He's a manlet.
I'm mad. I'm taller than Tom Hardy, man. That saddens me.
How
so
about
much,
this?
man.
How about this? Since he's retired, how about Hugh Jackman?
You know, Hugh Jackman seems like the type of person that he would get any chance to come back to the MCU, come into the MCU by any means, and it's like, hey, Hugh, you want to come in as Kraven? Sure.
I mean, fuck, why not? I mean, you know, he's played one of the most beloved characters of all time. He's the only person to play that role. He did say the only way he would ever do it is if he was in an Avengers movie, though. So he left that kind of window a little bit open.
Yeah.
But fuck, I mean, why not? Like, if you know, he still wants to do the movies, Kraven could be an older guy, you know?
Yeah, easily.
And Hugh doesn't have to get into, like, ridiculous Wolverine shape, but why not? You know, why not cast him?
I mean, he can just basically be in Wolverine shape to be Kraven, honestly. I mean, shit. Just go through the basics. He'd be fine. I would say the surprise, though, for me, Pepper Potts at the end of the movie. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I was flabbergasted.
And her and Tony are back together again. I was like, well, that was a nice little plot thread they tied up. It's pretty dope.
I mean, yay for Tony?
Yeah, yay for Tony. I guess, you know, him and Pepper just needed, you know, some alone time from each other for a bit, you know, chilling and stuff. Shout out to Hannibal Buress. I loved his little line about Captain America being a war criminal. He's like, yeah, you know, yay, Cap. I guess he's still a war criminal, but yeah, we're still listening to him, right?
My favorite part of that scene was he was standing on the wrong side of the TV. Where it's like, and your gym coach here, and he waves. That's crack me up, man.
Oh man, I thought Zendaya as Michelle was actually pretty funny at times too and stuff. Especially when they were at the Washington Monument and she was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to go in. You know, it's built by slaves." And the other black dude's like, "Yeah, she is right. It was kind of built by slaves, dog." And he's like, "All right, go ahead, just go."
Yeah, let's.
You know what's funny is like she wasn't.
For a minute.
She wasn't in it a lot, but she was good. You know what I mean? Like
she did her job.
Yeah, she did the job of being that kind of like bitchy emo, you know. But you can tell like she's interested in Peter.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like she's taking an interest in him. But I thought she was going to be in it a lot more, and I was kind of surprised. And I mean, you see the twist at the ending. Now, do you guys think? I don't think she's fucking Mary Jane, and I don't think she's DMJ.
Nah, from what I heard, Marvel just did that, and it's two parts. One
that's
thing,
that whole, it's the Dark Knight Rises, you know, Robin,
yeah, that's exactly
thing.
That's
like,
exactly that's exactly what me and D said. I was like, that's like the Dark Knight Rises shit, because I remember in Dark Knight Rises, I was like, you should use your real name, Robin. I was like, no,
oh
no,
god,
no,
so
I'd walked out of the theater. I'd walked out with that.
With this one, it's like, well, at least it's M, and we never knew her full name, so it's like, fuck it, I'll buy MJ, but still. It's in that territory.
Her name is Michelle. Is it Michelle Jones? Like, be Michelle. Don't be Mary Jane. Like, I don't.
But I think Marvel just did that just to fuck with people. And also, let's be real about this. We ran with the whole idea of her being MJ, Mary Jane.
Oh, I was all on board for that shit, bro.
Yeah, we ran with that. So it's like, it's one part us, but it's also Marvel kind of trolling a little bit. Like, oh, she's Michelle. And I'm fine with it. They want to sit there and be new with this and stuff. I'm perfectly fine with that. Now, here's my thing. I swear to God, I thought she was actually Toombs' daughter, not Liz.
So did I.
Me too.
So did I.
I really was like, well, maybe that's what the twist is. And I was like, oh, it was Liz's dad. Oh, did not see that coming. Huh. Interesting.
So he's gonna take your mom's last name there, Liz? Just not gonna warm a guy?
Hey, I didn't understand that either. Is
Alan your middle name, Liz?
Right, they clearly call him Adrian Toombs. Okay, the whole fucking white thing, I don't give a shit about that. But,
yeah.
like, he's Adrian Toombs. I'm not going to be honest, until I saw her mom, I thought Liz was Hispanic. until I saw her mom, and I'm like, oh, she's clearly
Me too. I thought they were doing like Spectacular Spider-Man. She was Hispanic in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I thought she was, like, Puerto Rican or something, you know, which I'm like, all right, fuck yeah, Peter, like, get after it. But, you know, when they show her mom and then he answers the door, number one, that was a pretty fucking good twist because nobody saw that coming.
Nobody.
But then I was like, wait a minute, how is Adrian Toomes Liz Allen's dad? And then my friend's like, what if he's just her stepdad? I'm like, but she called him her dad. And he's like, so what? Like, there are people that grow up with stepdads that don't know they're real. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right.
That would be a pretty good twist if it. Yeah.
Also discounting the whole, she can be biracial. That is also a thing.
Hey, I will say this. I was looking at Toombs like, hey, man, Jungle Fever. I get it, man.
I know, right? Hey, bro, have at it, man.
Have at it, man. You got Homegirl from the Jamie Foxx show.
I know.
Even better.
Ooh, boy.
Even better, man. I was like, man, you doing it, man. Only, you know what's funny? I'll buy Michael Keaton actually hooking up with her if it happened in real life. I'm like, all right, cool. Keaton hooked up with her? Dope. Awesome. I'm buying it.
No, and now that I'm thinking about this, and this is why we're talking about Toombs, when people say they don't want to see the Green Goblin again, I'm like, well, you kind of did. They kind of got you 3 times because he was kind of Green Goblin in this movie.
With the wings kind of had the tech, the
wings,
the hover tech a little bit.
And the threatening of Peter and knowing his secret and being it's kind of Green Goblin-ish, just tad bit there,
just a little bit and stuff. But I was fine with that and stuff. That was actually cool and stuff. I'm still amazed at how good that whole Vulture costume period just looked.
And it could have fell apart very easily, but they walked that line of keeping it to the character's motif and bringing it to the MCU. Technical.
It came off like a version of Iron Man tech a bit.
He came off as a better Falcon.
Hold on. Back up. Do you not like the Falcon's like tech? I should ask that.
Bruh, no.
You're not liking it?
I'm not digging MCU Falcon at all.
Okay. Explain to me where.
Now I like God, I'm blanking on the actor's name. Why
Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie.
Thank you, Mr. Mackie. I love Mr. Mackie. I like him as Sam.
All right.
But like the Falcon as equipment, I'm just not feeling it.
Is it the wings or is this the red wing? Is that what it is?
No, I don't have a problem with the drone. I just don't. I don't know. It's just like the aesthetic. I don't know.
Hold up. Did you like the? Put it. Let me rephrase that. Did you like the aesthetics of the wings in Winter Soldier or Civil War?
Winter Soldier.
Okay. See, if it's Winter Soldier, I get it because that is like ultimate Falcon, kind of simplistic.
You know what gets me though is again because it's set in the MCU. And, sorry, I have a cold here. Adrian Toomes would have seen, he would have seen the Falcon, so he would have said, okay, like, that's kind of the shit that I want. How do I improve upon it? The thing that kind of drives me nuts about the Falcon is how the fuck would he breathe as high as he goes?
You know what that is?
You know what I mean?
That was one of the things that kind of got me, not got me, but I had to think about that in Civil War before, Homeboy shot War Machine out there. I was like, so was Falcon, like, does he have anything to keep himself from not passing out in a high altitude? Okay.
I have wit, son. Wit and puns.
Well, no, I mean, the thing is like, if you look at, like, the kind of old school not MCU, but the old school Marvel Falcon with that goofy ass
the red and white costume
top on the nose.
That mask comes down and covers his face.
Right. The beak and the shit on his forehead and everything. Like, to me, if you look at the Vulture's helmet, if you look at the mask,
yeah,
it's shaped like a fucking beak. You know what I mean? Like, there are sides to it where if you look at it, it comes to a point like a vulture's beak, and then he's got the beady eyes like a vulture. He's got the fucking, the feathered collar. So like, they 100% adapted the what makes the Vulture's costume specific to him in the real world. So with Falcon, it was like, wait a minute, how the fuck is he going to go up that high and breathe?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the air would start to thin out, or even as fast as he goes, you know how fucking hard it is to take in air when you're going that fast?
That is true.
So like, what was so cool is, like, the Vulture basically took that tech and was like, well, I'm going to rob fucking airplanes that flight, 30,000 feet?
Yeah,
You can't fucking breathe up that high.
and that's why
So
the
they
Tinkerer gave him
adopted
that
that.
thing.
Exactly. And the helmet, fucking,
Yeah.
it had it was slick, so it had that bald fucking look like a vulture.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just such a good design.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what
Better than Falcon.
and that's what I liked about it all. It's just like you have these bad guys who are literally reverse engineering everything. And like I said, again, you put the Tinkerer in this movie, you literally are opening up like the whole thing of like bad guys going to him for everything now and shit. So that works. Shout out to Principal Morita being the great grandson of one of the Howling Commandos.
What word?
Did you see that picture of his grandfather?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I told you.
Same actor.
Yeah, same actor. I was like, that's a nice little touch. So
Let's just keep on threading them needles. Keep them.
can
coming.
we get Dum Dum back? Can we get that?
Oh, he was so fucking good.
Can we get like his great grandson like back in Shield or some shit? I don't
Nah,
know.
bro, we can have Dum Dum. Just have him LMD.
Oh,
He's in a tank somewhere. It's all good. It's all
Yeah.
good.
So if we're gonna go there, we already talked about Liz. I thought Flash Thompson worked. He was a bit of a douche, which worked because that's what Flash Thompson is. He's a douche. I wasn't expecting him to be like the bully from the first Spider-Man where he's just punching people and shit. I mean,
he's the modern bully. Bully by privilege.
oh yeah,
No.
easily. I thought that kid actually did a pretty good job as Flash Thompson and stuff.
Now I might be on the alone here when I say like I really wish they'd have named him something else because like I look at his character and how he acts and how he treats Peter and like, and I don't know because I'm a comic book head, but like I don't see the progression that Peter and Flash have in the comic books with those two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't see that guy with the ultimate Flash Thompson destiny. So,
I mean, he's like you just said, he's the modern day bully. He's a bully by privilege. He's the kind of guy that would go on social media and talk shit to you. You kind of got a glimpse of him, doing the DJ thing. Like the Flash thing to me was his DJ name. That's why they call him Flash. But then his real name is supposed to be Eugene. I don't really see that guy as Eugene. But
I don't either.
It's like his real name is Tony Revolori, so it's like, all right, that's not that fucking far off. Like, he doesn't look like a Tony Revolori either. Like, it's just like it's one of those things where you get it and you're like, all right, whatever. Like, everything else is so perfect, I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, what about Ned?
you mean Gank?
Yeah, a lot of it's
Yeah.
funny. You know what? Okay, I'll say this. I have an idea of where they're angling Ned with this, right?
If he becomes a hobgoblin, I'm done.
No. If they're angling Ned, because you remember he said he wants to be the man in the chair. What if they angle Ned to be the man in the chair for when Miles becomes Spider-Man?
I decline.
You wouldn't like that?
I'm not down for that.
You know what threw me off, to be honest with you, was when Donald Glover was cast. First thing I said was, "Oh, he's the Prowler." You know what I mean? Because like he's obviously not gonna be Miles. He's too fucking old. But he, why else would he be working with him? He's the Prowler. He's the Shocker. And then when they said Joaquin Woodbine was going to be the Shocker, it's like, all right, he's the Prowler. But then it did throw me off that he mentioned his nephew, because my theory going into this was, all right, Sony has given Marvel Peter Parker to play with for now.
Yeah.
So they've got Venom, they've got Black Cat, they've got all the other characters. Well, you kind of can't have Venom without Spider-Man, but now they're not going to cross them over. So my theory was, well, they still have Spider-Man. They could always just use Miles. So my whole theory up until this movie was like, fuck it, Sony's just going to use Miles as their Spider-Man. Marvel gets Peter Parker, everyone's happy. But then when he mentions his nephew, I'm like, well, fuck, now Miles exists in the MCU, so there goes that theory. That kind of threw me off a little bit.
Well, I think it was like, because I remember when they cast Donald, a lot of us were like, oh, it's the Prowler, which it was and stuff like that. But I think it's kind of like with a lot of these MCU movies where they just plant seeds and then they just see how everything plays out before they even commit to it. Because like I said, Miles Morales is getting his animated movie next year. So, and even that's kind of like a stretch on where it's all sitting at in terms of like if it's standalone or if it's not and stuff. But like I said, I was cool with it and stuff like that. He actually, be honest with you, Donald Glover, like he was high as shit when he was actually filming that scene. Personally,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you guys. I mean, that's how I took it, at least.
Homeboy was not there.
I mean, but it worked. I just like the whole scene was like he's telling Peter telling Spider-Man, so you really don't know how to do this whole intimidated thing, right? All right, cool. So go through all that and stuff. So you got Peter himself. Now, what did y'all think of the suit? It being kind of like Iron Man light.
Light, yeah. It was a thing that happened. Even though I enjoyed the banter between him, it was a thing that happened. Even though I enjoyed the banter between him and Carol.
Yes.
Karen. Is it Karen?
Karen. That was what's her face?
Paul Bettany's wife. Betty Brant. Not Betty Brant.
Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly.
Yes, Betty. Hulk. The Hulk. Yeah. I don't know. Like, Spider-Man does use a lot of gadgets, but I really preferred it if Peter had come up with the gadgets.
Yeah, I mean, I did like how at the end of the movie they had him go back to the old school Spider-Man, so he had to kind of rely on his wits and his stuff to go at it, which I thought was cool because I think it kind of made that whole final fight with him and Vulture more kind of like personal and just like, oh, there's an actual fight happening and stuff. Because if he had a tech suit, it'd been like, well, he just beat him because, oh, he had this little electroshock webbing and all that stuff. It's like, oh, he's beating him with his own ingenuity, essentially. So,
yeah, it's kind of like one of the themes of the movie. Like, he's Spider-Man without that suit, and Adrian Toomes isn't the Vulture without his suit. You know what I mean? Like, it's that parallel between the two.
Mm-hmm. I mean, easily and stuff. I thought it was actually cool. Oh,
no.
Oh, cut out a little bit. That's why I was like, did he say something? Yeah, like the whole thing with Parker and stuff, I did like the beginning of him being this wide-eyed kid that's like, oh my god, I'm with the Avengers. This is dope, right? Oh man, and just the whole first-person view of everything and stuff, especially with the whole like Giant Man when he grabbed War Machine, that whole thing when he's like, I'll be back, and just everything with that was actually cool and just over the. And the cool thing about it too, 95% of that movie was in Queens.
Yep.
Like, he didn't venture in all of New York. It was like, no, he's in Queens. This is his domain, more or less, and stuff. He is the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and stuff,
But you know what though, like about the suit, like, I get what people are saying about like, oh, Tony, it's Iron Man. Like, well, first of all, I mean, look at the current comics. Look at his suit. He's got fucking 800 kinds of webbing. So they're pulling from that. And
but he came up with that himself, though. That's the thing.
He did. Yeah. But if you listen to what he said in Civil War, he developed web shooters, he developed the goggles, he developed the webbing. They obviously address the fact that he does the webbing himself. So when you live in a world of Tony Stark, and Tony Stark, knows who you are, it makes sense. It's almost like Peter can't have. Him and Aunt May can't be struggling financially. They can't be like, oh, fuck, we don't know how we're going to get the rent because he's friends with Tony Stark. Like, wouldn't that be kind of weird if they were going to get evicted and it's like, dude, I'm friends with Tony. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't exist in a world of Iron Man where you're teaming up with Iron Man and him let you run around in a fabric suit that, doesn't really protect you from anything. Like, I get the complaint, but it's also 2017, and the way I took Karen was, if you read Spider-Man, he's got a lot of inner monologues.
Yeah.
He talks to himself. Karen, to me, just represented his inner monologue. Like, when he's talking to Liz, and she's like, boy, he's really cute, Peter, go talk to her. To me, that was just kind of like a roundabout way of doing the inner monologue. But Peter developed all that tech. Tony just took it. He's Tony Stark. I mean, look at what he did to Captain America's suit. Look at what he did to the Falcon. Look at what he did to everybody. Like, Captain America had that original suit, and then Tony got a hold of it and has refined it over the course of the movie. Same thing with Falcon. Same thing with everybody. So look at how many suits he has. He has a new fucking suit every movie now. So, you know, when Peter develops the tech, Tony looks at it and goes, holy shit, like, you did this yourself? And he takes it and he streamlines it because he's giving this kid the tools. You know, I'm going to give you the tools to become an Avenger, but you have to prove that you can be an Avenger. So, you know, it makes sense to me. Like that Iron Spider thing at the end, I don't really like that. I was like,
I was kind of glad that they, because, you know, a lesser studio would have went with the whole idea of him still being like, oh yeah, we're going to have you be the Iron Spider and all that stuff. So I'm kind of glad that they didn't like have Peter be like, oh hey, I want to be the Iron Spider and that's it and stuff. I'm glad that they kind of ditched that, because I get what they were doing with it, but I wasn't, like you said, I wasn't a fan of the design personally and stuff.
Well, and it's, I mean, look at the last two Spider-Man movies. Like, I'm sorry, but Tony Stark developing that suit makes a hell of a lot more sense than this poor kid from Queens developing a fucking lens that Oakley couldn't even develop and an adhesive that a 3M company, you know what I mean? Like,
he had to buy the costume. He basically bought the costume and then did all the sewing.
Yeah, come on. Like, all that shit, like, 2017, that doesn't fly anymore. He's going to sit down with it so he knows how to fucking screen print. He knows how to sew. He's an expert pattern maker. Like,
YouTube tutorials, my friend. YouTube tutorials.
Nah. No, but it's not gonna like even the best cosplay that I've seen of this new costume still looks like cosplay. You know what I mean? Like it looks good. It's really well done and it's fucking awesome, but it still looks like cosplay. And when you are friends with Tony Stark, he's going to take what you've built or created and he's going to improve upon it. Like those web shooters, I fucking love that the web shooter's on the outside now. I love it.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it works. I mean, like you said, it enhances it and stuff.
How about the fact that we finally got a movie where Peter has to change web cartridges, and he does it? You know what I mean? Like he literally has to pop out the web cartridge, and you know, load. I've always wanted to see that, and I hope in the next one we get to see him run out of web fluid when he needs it. You know what I mean? Like falling from a building or something.
Oh, that was the thing that when he was fighting the Vulture near the end and stuff. I mean, you know, he kind of had to sit there and be like, okay, I got X amount of web fluid and stuff like that. And it was kind of cool that he also had like a place where he stashed his old uniform at just in case something pops off and stuff. I love
cool. that. I love that. And he develops the web fluid in chemistry.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was another thing, too, that like I felt that the other two movies didn't really do was focus on like Peter being in school and his interactions with everybody in school.
That's why I was welcoming this remake, this remake, because I'm like, fine, we get Spider-Man in high school, because people are like, he's been in high school again. I'm like, well, he hasn't had a chance to be in high school. We haven't had a chance to see that side of Spider-Man. Like in the first trilogy, he was in high school for like what, 4 or 5 scenes?
No, he was in high school for his origin, and then the rest of the movie forgot that he was in high school. Let's get that twisted.
Oh yeah, he was for his origin and for graduation, because I was like, as soon as he got his power, like he's Spider-Man now, and now he's graduating high school. Really, guys? Like we don't get to see the
second movie.
Anyway,
the second trilogy, it felt like okay, he's in high school just so we can see. Oh yeah, he's beefing with Flash Thompson, and then like the second movie, it's like oh they graduated. I was like wow, that was
really that was quick.
How about the fact that Tobey Maguire was 63 years old when he played Spider-Man?
Oh man, you said 63.
I was gonna say 85. Good on you, man.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield was 46. Like,
hey, at least again, Andrew Garfield looked like he could maybe be a senior in high school at the most.
Yeah, maybe on fucking To Catch a Predator or something. But like, dude, this kid, I'm telling you,
you know what? All of them did look like high schoolers. All of them did.
They all looked exactly and acted exactly. There were scenes in that movie where I was like, I remember that. And obviously, you know, I went to fucking high school, you know, almost 20 years ago. But, like, still, like, when he's asking out Liz, I'm like, dude, I remember being that nervous. And, you know, Peter stumbling over words and shit like that. And, like, I can't say enough good things about that Tom Holland kid. Like, that fucking kid he, like, oozes charisma. You know what I mean? Like, for your first big starring role, and you have scenes with Tony Stark, and you have scenes with Michael Keaton, and you can hold your own against those guys, and you're believable, you know what I mean? Like, he plays Peter Parker, he plays Spider-Man really well, and all those characters at high school looked like fucking high school kids. They acted like high school kids. I even heard somebody go like, why do they play 80s music at the dance? It fucking says 80s dance. on one of the signs.
Oh,
You
and
know what I
also,
mean?
and just even the little things like the chicks talking about what we actually done were, Mary, who's it, Mary?
F Mary Kill.
Yeah, F Mary Kill. I was like, wow, they really playing.
Hell yeah!
All right, cool. That's what's up.
How about that John Hughes touch to that movie? Like when he's running through the backyards and then fucking Ferris Bueller is on the TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I mean, even the fact that it was an '80s dance. That's a John Hughes reference, man. Like, those movies that he does, they're always '80s. They're always, about teen angst and shit. And that John Watts guy, just like Patty Jenkins, I hope fucking Marvel signs him to at least 2 more movies.
They're good about, like, literally getting new people, up-and-coming people, or even known names and stuff. I mean, James Gunn. Put it this way, my thing with James Gunn always, he was an indie director. I mean, yeah, he did stuff like Scooby-Doo and all that stuff, but he was never really, like...
he
did Super. But he was never really... Like, a household name. And they put him Guardians, and it's like, oh, yeah, his brand of comedy and stuff will work for Guardians easily, especially if you knew him and stuff. But other people were like, I don't know about him and stuff. So, yeah, with John Watts, I think he did a pretty good job with, like, what he was doing with Spider-Man and stuff. And like I said, I hope that they keep this whole thing going with this whole series and stuff, because, again, I'm all about little moments. And the little moments that I love was just things like, oh, Peter is running, like leaving Liz's party as Spider-Man to go check out an explosion. He gets to the golf course and he tries a web swing, and it's like, oh shit, there's no buildings to swing. I gotta actually run across this whole golf course in order to get to that place.
Total Peter Parker moment.
Yeah. And again, like, to go back to Tom Holland, because I keep blowing smoke up his ass, but my favorite part about him was, in the other movies, Peter Parker was always, like, depressed and down and out. And in the second Spider-Man movie, he's Spider-Man no more. And in the Andrew Garfield movies, like, because Captain Stacy dies, he doesn't want to be Spider-Man. This fucking kid loved being Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's something that they've never really shown, other than when he gets his powers for the first time. Like, when he was watching the clock and then, like, ran at school and then put his costume on, like, that's the shit you would do if you had these powers. It was exactly the way Peter Parker should be done, and when Ned finds out, dude, if you found out your best friend was a superhero, you do the same shit.
Ask her 20 questions like, so what's it like to be Spider-Man? How's Tony Stark? All this, and then, like, when they get that, the little alien battery tech and stuff like that, he's like, this is the coolest thing ever. I cannot believe that this is happening right now.
Yeah, like when he puts can I try the mask on? And he like, Ned has the fucking mask on.
Or,
you know what I mean? And they're building the fucking Death Star.
Or just the fact that, like, and it's something that I was shocked that the movie actually went for. In the movie, Aunt May finds out he's Spider-Man.
I did not see that twist coming either.
Neither did I. That's going to be interesting. And why do you think they did that? To make her more involved, or what?
I think that answer, like, to not repeat the same thing the other 2 movies did, where he kept it a secret from Aunt May to, quote, air quotes, protect Aunt May. So now they're going to a new direction now, where she's in on the secret.
The funny thing is, Raimi tried to pull this thing in his trilogy where Aunt May knew, but just in a kind of wink and a nod way a little bit. Like, which I was like, really, Aunt May, you knew? Nah, I don't buy this. No.
I felt like Sally Field knew in Amazing, too.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was
when he would come home all beaten to shit.
Yeah, and it was, like, subtle and stuff, and it's like, okay, that's fine, but my thing is either you say it or you don't. I mean...
Exactly.
Because if
you know what, though?
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, if you think about it, though, like, look at Man of Steel. Lois, knows that he's Superman. Everyone threw a fit. It's like, well, of course she fucking knows. How is she going to be this, award-winning reporter, journalist, and she can't figure out the guy next to her? You know what I mean? Like, that made sense to me. And then you have Aunt May. It's like, she even told him in the movie, like, I know you sneak out. I know you do this. I know you do that. Like, she was basically like, I'm not fucking stupid, Peter.
Yeah, before she even knew she was Spider-Man, she just assumed that he was just getting into stuff at night. That's about it,
Exactly. And then when he told her about the internship, she's like, oh, shit, and it kind of went a different direction. But the fact that she knows, I think it will give Marissa Tomei more to do in the sequel, where now she has to kind of wrestle with the fact that, my nephew is a superhero, and he has this obligation that my husband kind of bestowed on him, but he's also my nephew. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Aunt May is his aunt by marriage. She's not related to him blood.
Exactly.
It's, Ben.
Wait. Yeah, Ben's blood, yes.
Right. So, I mean, I'm not... Fuck, dude, I don't hate it. It's like, all right, well, you know, because the shit that worked in the 60s isn't going to work in 2017. You know, you're not going to have this old-ass lady going like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, because it would just make her look stupid. How about this? Did you guys like when Keaton figured out he was Spider-Man?
Okay, I love that scene, man.
Me and Dee were joking about this in the theater. I'm like, and Dee was like, it's pretty quick how he figured out he was Spider-Man. I was like, Dee, he's Batman, all right? That's how you know he's Batman, all right? It's Michael Keaton. Who are we to question this? But at the same time, but just the fact that like his face as Liz kept revealing a lot of stuff, like, yeah, Peter, you were only at my party for 2 minutes, and his face is like, shit.
No, but when he said you kind of sound familiar. I've heard that voice before. I was like, God damn it! Like, how nobody ever pays attention to the voice?
That is true.
Like Batman, they finally fucking changed his voice, because if Bruce Wayne is one of the most famous men in the world, like Steve Jobs, I know what the fuck he would sound like, you know, were he alive. But like, it's like, okay, he changes his voice. How come nobody ever goes, you know, you kind of sound like my friend Peter? Like, you know, and Michael Keaton's like, I've heard that voice before. You sound really familiar. Like, oh shit,
it's you. Oh,
how did you like that scene though, with the two of them kind of interacting, like Peter basically being shut down?
The build up to it, like I said, the build up to it when he's driving to the party was just all sorts of just like, shit, son of a bitch, this motherfucker's dating my daughter. Okay, and just that whole scene is just like, oh yeah, this guy means business. He ain't. And again, any other director or any other studio probably would have went in a different direction where they would have played it for laughs, but they literally played that scene straight. No jokes, no puns, no nothing. It's just
Peter was scared shitless.
Yeah, walked into the dance just like, fuck. Yeah, don't know what to do. You know, just stuck. That was legit.
But you know what? But you know what's cool about that scene is Peter knows, you know, Keaton pulled out a gun, right?
Yeah.
Peter, you know, could probably disarm him before he got a chance to pull off, you know, shoot off. So Peter could essentially kill Michael Keaton if he wanted to. You know what I mean? He's got the strength, he's got the speed, et cetera, et cetera. But the Toombs character was so fucking intimidating, and Michael Keaton played him so well. He scared the shit out of the more powerful character.
Oh, easily.
You know what I mean? Like, Peter, you know, could just fucking snap his arm in two places, but it was like, you know, I'll kill you and everybody you care about. And Peter was like, okay, like, I just shit my pants.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even to the point where, like, I like how he killed the first dude that was the shocker and stuff, and he was just like, so, Oops. Yeah, I thought you said that was the gravity gun. No, that's not the gravity gun. That's the gravity gun. All right, cool. Whatever. Whatever. That's fine. I killed a dude. I don't care. By any means necessary. That's fine. You know. But it was that, and just the fact that, like, at the end of the movie with him and Gargan talking, he had his reasons for not telling Gargan Peter's identity. And I want to think that either A, he might use it as a bargaining chip against Peter, or B, he really was trying to be respectful of Peter's identity.
Or he's just trying to redeem himself.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, that. I was going to say, like, well, you know, he technically owes him twice over. You saved my daughter's life and you saved my fucking life.
Yeah, that's true. Saved him from blowing himself up, so that makes sense.
What was your guys' like favorite scene of the whole movie? Like Wonder Woman had the fucking no man's land, obviously, but like of this, what was that scene for you in this movie?
I had two. I had the keeping the fairy from splitting apart scene, and I had the homage to the Spider-Man comic where he had the debris on him, and he's like, come on, Spider-Man, and lifting it up.
Oh,
even if it didn't have the same weight that the comic book version had, because the comic book version
Oh.
What happened?
He was trying to get
Oh,
to
you cut
Aunt May to deliver medicine to save her life.
Yeah.
And this is like my psycho girlfriend's dad from You hear me? What was the last thing you heard?
Yeah.
No, you had cut out for like a second, a couple of
Oh.
seconds. So, but no,
All
we
right.
got the gist of it and stuff.
Yeah, so even if they didn't have the same way as the comic version, I still like the homage, and I still like the rating and gravitas that scene carried.
I guess for me, it will probably be the whole DC sequence because I'm a fan of the Ditko wings underneath the suit. I'm like,
Fuck yeah.
I'm a fan of that. That like really got me. I'm like, yes, just that whole sequence with him and being in DC, that was actually dope. And yeah, I'll probably say the whole thing with him lifting up the debris and stuff like that was. That's one of those things that like you have to like catch, and that was kind of like his thing of just like, you know, he didn't need to rely on, because you know he kept saying Mrs. Stark, and then he realized, you know what, I have to do this. I can do this, and you know, hey, he lifted up the debris and all that stuff. So those were kind of the moment. Those two moments stuck out to me the most, if anything. About you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the debris scene, because obviously I get the reference, you know, that it's coming from. But again, I mean, the kid, I like that it seems like his powers are still developing. Like, he doesn't quite realize how strong he is.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe he's not as strong as he's going to be. I also like how they didn't do the spider sense, but they did say, hey, that's coming. You know what I mean? Like, he's
I mean,
15.
he has it. It's just they didn't put a lot of focus on it like the other movies did.
Well, like, but I like this idea that he's still growing into his power. So, you know, we saw him hold a ferry together, essentially, which, you know, is pretty fucking impressive. But then all this debris falls on him, and he basically panics, and he's crying, you know, and he's like, I'm just a kid, you know, and he's just the way that he did that scene. And I love that he's like, come on, Peter. And then once he says, come on, Spider-Man, is when he starts to, you know what I mean? Like, just that, the way that whole scene played out was like, God damn it. Like, they literally got every little nuance of how Peter Parker, you know, is. In his head, he'd rather be Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like, he really doesn't want to be Peter Parker. He wants to be Spider-Man. And then when he starts saying, come on, Spider-Man, and then, you know, he's able to lift up the shit, it was like, fuck, man. You know, I keep blowing smoke up that kid's ass. I honestly can't say enough. I really can't, man. Like, I was absolutely blown away with how that kid portrayed. I mean, that's to me, that's some of their best casting that they've ever done.
Hey, low-key, the funniest moment for me a little bit was like when the teacher was talking about like Spider-Man saving anybody in the elevator, and he was like, well, at least they saved the students. And he's just thinking back to the fact, I'm like, did your previous students get killed somehow? I need to know the story about that, because you can't just walk away from this movie on this when he's all like quiet about his previous students and their demise.
I like that it was Martin Starr too.
Oh my god, man, that threw me off initially because I was like, is that Martin Starr? It's like, holy shit, it is him. Yeah,
Martin Starr, he's so good.
I mean, he does a phenomenal job. But shout outs to the after credit sequence with Captain America when he was all talking about patience. It's like, sometimes patience is the key to victory, and sometimes it leads to very little. It's like, how many more of these I gotta do? It's like 9 more.
Who do you think that they'll actually pick as the next villain or villains? Because they seem to be very high up on ones that we haven't seen before. So who do you think it'll be?
If it's me, I would go for broke and just give me Mysterio.
Yeah, we all know that in
I know.
That didn't happen.
That
didn't happen, dude.
I want Mysterio, but if I really want to go like really in depth with it and stuff, I would probably say Craven.
Really, already?
I don't know. It's either Craven or, like you said, Scorpion, or Chameleon Scorpion combo. If you really want to do that and stuff, because he did say they were trying to plot them trying to get back at Spider-Man, so that could be a plot point if they want to really address it.
You think they recast the Scorpion if they use him?
I say keep him for continuity purposes if they wanted to.
But I mean, if you're Sony/Marvel, and you probably want to have a big name for your villain. I love that fucking guy. I think they should keep him. But you think a studio exec goes, we're gonna, get somebody a little bit bigger name.
Here's an idea.
All right,
just as me spitballing,
all right.
reaching in.
All right.
So I say keep that guy because I've wanted the Scorpion in the Spider-Man movie for years. So keep that guy because he's a fucking treasure on Better Call Saul. And the person who gives him the Scorpion tech is Alistair Smythe in the Spider Slayer project, and you cast your big name as Alistair Smythe.
Ooh, that is a good one.
Okay.
I forgot all about Alistair Smythe too.
I will 100% agree with you on that. However, I would say you make Norman Osborn the guy that develops the tech, and you cast Matthew fucking McConaughey as Norman Osborn.
All right.
Oh, and also have Norman Osborn be the one that bought the old Avengers building.
Oh my God, yes.
Correct. And then you don't have the Green Goblin shit. He's not Green Goblin. You have him and Tony go back and forth, and you have Matthew McConaughey's Norman Osborn kind of battle Tony for Peter's mentorship or affections or whatever you want to call him. Because
and look, we already seen Matthew McConaughey in that trailer for Dark Tower, so you know what he could possibly do as Norman.
Fuck that movie. Look at True Detective.
I know that, but I'm just saying, just like, you know what? Yeah, you're right, True Detective. I don't know why. True Detective. Yeah, you're right.
You lock Matthew McConaughey down for fucking Norman Osborn. I don't even give a shit if he becomes the Green Goblin. Just to see Norman Osborn as this fucking egomaniacal kind of evil Tony Stark.
Just give us businessman Osborn.
Right.
I don't even need him in a suit. Just businessman Osborn.
And you have Matthew McConaughey and Robert Downey Jr. start sharing scenes together where they're kind of battling back and forth, fucking whipping their dicks out and shit, and who's richer, who's more powerful, who's smarter, dude. And then you have Tony Stark develop the Spider-Man costume, and you have Norman Osborn develop the Scorpion costume. They both got these kind of insect arachnid themes going. Like, if they did that tomorrow, you just take all my money. Just take my fucking money, and I'll get more, so you can have that too.
Man, you shut up and take my damn money if you with McConaughey, man. That is done.
It can't be like an old guy.
Yeah. I mean, and especially if you have Osborn hitting on Aunt May too, so that's even more like up there and stuff as well. So there you go.
The only issue I would see with that is it would kind of harken back to Iron Man 3. Which Iron Man 3 stole that from fucking Batman Forever.
Yeah, that is true.
But, we can forget about that movie because it was shit and just say, you know what, it's Matthew McConaughey, he can do whatever he wants. Fuck it, dude. If you want to, have a guy like Idris Elba be Norman. Why does Norman Osborn have to be white?
That is true. I mean, you can say, well, Idris is Heimdall. Well, hey.
Nobody knows that shit.
There. He can do both. It's possible.
Yeah, nobody knows that.
I mean, hey, look. I mean, what's-her-face played Alfred Woodward was in freaking Civil War, and then bam, she popped up in freaking Luke Cage. So it is very possible to do both at the same time. Very much.
So wait a minute. So you would go Scorpion and you would go Kraven?
I was saying Scorpion Chameleon combo, and then Kraven for like the third movie. I guess if you really want to go in that direction.
How long do you wait to do Sinister Six?
That's a good one. I don't know. You don't want to rush it, but you also want to kind of like, you're already planting the seeds of them, so. I mean, do you make them the third movie? That's the thing.
I don't know. Maybe you set them. I don't know if make them a third movie. Like, I would set them up across Spider-Man's series, then have like him fighting the Sinister Six be like a fourth movie or a finale to his story.
That would be cool too. I mean, I remember at one point, I was like, how dope would it be if you had a Thunderbolts versus Sinister Six movie just for
shut up and take all my fucking money. Because I'm still waiting. I'm praying and hoping that the Beetle and Screaming Mimi are the villains in Ant-Man and the Wasp, so you can set them up to be Mach 5 and Songbird later on.
Man.
Dude, that would be the most, like, out of fucking left field. Like, people thought the Guardians were like, who the fuck are these characters? Like, that would be... I would love to see that, but that would be like, God damn, you guys are really going deep into the lore.
Here's my thing. I swear to God, Thunderbolts to me would be Marvel Disney's like, oh, you guys are Suicide Squad, so we're going to hit you with some Thunderbolts. How about that? All right, cool, dope. All right, except it'll be better and stuff. And then, man, look, they already got me. They already given me Jimmy Woo and fucking Ant-Man and the Wasp. So that's already like, there's some possibilities there of where it could go and stuff. And there's another chick.
Perfect casting, by the way.
I know, right? And then they already got another chick who we don't know. And my head is like, what if she's Moonstone? That'd actually be pretty nice. Don't know how, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, but back to Spider-Man though. But I don't know. It's weird. Like I said, I don't know. And a lot of this is all dependent on Sony's deal, because Sony's kind of, they're in a position where they're kind of fucked. Not even say kind of fucked. They're fucked, period. Because, okay, so they're doing all these separate movies, right? They're doing a Venom movie, but you're doing a Venom movie without Spider-Man.
I'm not convinced it happens. I really not.
I decline.
Like I feel Venom and that Black Cat and Silver Sable movie are just placeholders, because they're just throwing it out there just cause.
I don't think it happens either.
Yeah,
I don't think either of those movies happen.
I mean, could you do a Venom movie? Sure, but it's just going to be weird because folks are going to expect it to tie into the MCU Spider-Man.
The better question
I think it'll be,
should they? Not if would they. It's should they.
No, all that is them seeing the attention that he got, or Spider-Man got in Homecoming or a Civil War, and being like, well, fuck, let's just do it. But, it's like they're just pulling their dick out again, and it's like, whoa, you guys finally have a home run in your hands that you teamed up with Marvel. Just ride that wave and leave everything else alone, because now we're going to do a Kraven. Nobody knows who the fuck Kraven is without Spider-Man. Nobody knows who the fuck Mysterio is. Like, of all the characters to do a standalone movie, fucking Mysterio? Like, I like the character, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't exist without Spider-Man. Neither does Kraven.
To me, you're riding that line trying to do a solo Venom movie. You really are.
You're getting cocky, is what you're doing. You're getting a little bit of success, you're getting that fucking Disney money, you're getting that Marvel success, and you're getting cocky, and you're being like, well, fuck, we can just do, Venom. Listen, I like Tom Hardy. I think Tom Hardy would be great as Eddie Brock, but not without Spider-Man. No one gives a fuck about him without Spider-Man.
And don't get me wrong, a Silver Sable and Black Cat movie could work, because let's be real about this, Wonder Woman is starting to open it up to women-led movies. Fine. Ride that wave. I'm cool with that and stuff. I mean, fine, whatever. It's just like you said, with Venom, it's like, you're getting a little cocky here, and then you're making your villain of this Venom movie be Carnage 2, and you don't have Spider-Man? Like, come on. Like, what are you doing, guy?
Dude, if they were really smart about it, they would have Spider-Man go off and do Infinity Gauntlet, and they would have some kind of Easter egg where he catch, the black symbiote. Maybe he doesn't wear it, but the black symbiote comes back with him, and then they would have Tom Hardy as like an after-credit scene at the very ass end of that movie. Then you've got it like, all right, well, that kind of makes sense. They kind of tie in together a little bit.
Yeah.
And you can do your own. But to have them not even exist in the same universe, like, Venom simply does not exist without Spider-Man. It doesn't, unless you're going to rewrite fucking history. And when Sony announced that, Marvel had to be going like, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, you saw that video where Feige was rolling his eyes when she was all like, oh, it's in the same universe, and Feige was looking at her like, bitch, what?
He was like, bitch, what? Like,
bitch,
now,
where?
if it were in the same universe, all right, cool, but you can't have rated R Venom in the same universe as the Spider-Man. It doesn't work.
That shit's Netflix if you're going to really go that far with it, honestly. If you really want to go rated R.
I said this before in another comic book corner, like, Venom only to me, and then, I don't know, I might be alone in this, but like, Venom to me only works as an analog scorn lover to Spider-Man.
Oh yeah,
like that story does not work any other way. It doesn't. Like, could you do a Venom movie solo? Yeah, possibly you could, but why would you? Like, why would you rob yourself of that narrative threat bead?
I mean, it's like how Sabretooth in the comics, his whole thing with Wolverine is when Wolverine's birthday comes around, he kicks the shit out of Wolverine. That's his shtick. That's Venom stick, like you said. That's like you said, Prime. That's Venom stick with Spider-Man. I'm beating the shit out of you because I'm the scorn lover, and we used to be together. So now I have to beat you up just cause I don't want to let you go.
Exactly. And I guarantee you, if Spider-Man had told the symbiote, "Hey, you can get back with me," it would leave Eddie Brock. He would leave anything in a second just to get back with Peter, because Peter is his perfect host.
Oh yeah, I mean, and
I think if they do it, honestly, like I really don't think they do, but if they did do a Venom movie, it'll be that Agent Venom shit.
Well, dude, like they already said, and again, this is a rumor, take it for what it is. But Sony was like, we want to go a comedy route with Venom, and I'm already like,
I decline.
Wait, what?
I decline. What? No, thank you.
Hold on a second.
Look it up. Dead serious.
Tom Hardy movie. The Tom Hardy movie that's going to be rated R. They want to make a comedy.
Yeah, kind of like a dark comedy kind of thing, and I'm like, really?
Sony's fucked.
I'm good.
They better give that fucking. They better just ride that Spider-Man wave for as long as they can.
Just do what you man.
And stop with this. Stop. Listen, if you want to have Kraven come into a Spider-Man movie in the MCU and then spin him off into his own shit fucking 5 years from now, cool. Same with Venom. If you want to have Venom show up, have Tom Hardy, I would love to see Tom Holland and Tom Hardy together. That'd be cool. And then spin that off, cool. But fuck, man, stop putting the cart before the horse. Like
that's all this is. That's all it is. It's just like
we saw what happened when you had full creative control over these characters. You failed. You made a shit ton of money, but you ultimately failed and had to make deals
your second
with someone that knows. Right.
Your second Spider-Man movie broke even. It didn't really make money. It just broke even, essentially.
And look at dude, this movie has been out for less than a week, and it's at 140-something million?
Yeah.
I mean...
And it hasn't even opened in China.
Take that money... Right. Take that money and shut the fuck up. And just count your money and just keep getting that taste from Disney. Disney's like, hey, shut the fuck up. Stop making bad movies.
Disney, and this is the same Disney who's like, I mean, you guys getting all the money anyway from this. Just collect it and shut up. Just step back and take it.
Dude, Sony just fucking I don't get it, man. They're never going to let Spider-Man go. It doesn't make sense for them. They're never, but I do think they extend this deal unless they get so cocky. They're like, you know what? We're good now. We know how to do Spider-Man, and they yank him back, which I suppose they could, but makes zero fucking sense. I really hope that they at least let this Tom Holland kid write out his arc in the MCU. Right? But
I think that's what the deal entails anyway, is kind of a 3-movie deal for right now. So that is kind of enough to ride the whole thing out for the most part.
Wasn't it Civil War, 2 Avengers movies, and the 3 Spider-Man solo movies?
Yeah, basically.
Yes.
So, yeah, so.
Dude, let Tom Holland, he's 21 years old. I mean, again, Tobey Maguire was 63. Let Tom Holland be Spider-Man for the next 15 years. Let us see him become adult Peter. You know what I mean? Working for the Daily Bugle.
I mean, shit, I'll take second year of college at the most if they really got to retire his ass.
Hey, you know what I just thought of? How about Christoph Waltz as J. Jonah?
Man, listen. How would you want him to act, though? Would you want him to, it's kind of hard for me because it's I like what's-his-face in the original trilogy.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons. And it's somebody was saying, what if they just brought J.K. Simmons back as J. Jonah just because? And I was like, that would actually be pretty cool, too.
He's Commissioner Gordon now.
Yeah, I know. That's the only thing that sucked because
he can moonlight. Josh Brolin is Thanos and Cable. It can happen.
That is true. I didn't think about it like that.
I hope I wish they could all fucking do it. You know what I mean? Let him be J. Jonah. Let him be fucking Gordon. Let him be whoever he wants. Then throw Bryan Cranston in there.
I mean, if you really want to, I would take Bryan Cranston as J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh fuck!
With the mustache. I'm not even saying you got to have the same hairstyle. Just give me the mustache and we're fine. We're good.
Dude, you notice how they haven't announced any kind of casting for Darkseid.
Man.
I'm just telling you. Man. I'm just telling you, man. You throw Bryan Cranston as Darkseid, or the only way you'd ever give me back to an X-Men movie is Bryan Cranston as Mr. Sinister.
See, here's the thing. I don't want his talent wasted on those X-Men movies. I'm just
I
saying.
concur.
I agree with you.
I don't want the talent wasted. So
I agree with you, but I would love to see him play that character.
I mean, it's not enough that Oscar Isaac had to take a break from Star Wars to go play fucking Apocalypse. And I'm like, hey, Oscar, did you really need the money here? Did you really need it?
Didn't see it. I saw 5 minutes of that fucking movie, and when he did that, dude, when he started doing that transfusion bullshit, I'm like, nope, not today. Not today. You're not going to get me today. Turn that shit right off.
Joe turned that power button off like, nope.
I fucking threw the remote at the TV. Like, nope. Nope, that is not Apocalypse. But, again, tell me Christoph Waltz, tell me Tom Hanks is J. Jonah.
Man.
Look at that motherfucker rocking a mustache.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I saw fucking the shit with the plane dude.
Sully?
Yeah, Captain Sully. I'm like, yeah, that's almost close to J. Jonah's look a little bit. I'll take it.
I just tell you, man, Tom Hanks. Put Denzel in there somewhere.
You know what? Denzel has been actively avoiding it, but they might pull a Michael Keaton with him and be like, hey, Denzel, we got this juicy role for you in these MCU movies. Would you take it?
How about Denzel as Craven?
See, here's the thing. Denzel is riding the old man killing people. I can't see him as an old Craven. It's kind of hard for me, man. Especially at the Equalizer. I mean, unless he's on that Equalizer tip, maybe.
Hey, he's Denzel Washington. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
That is true.
If they said Denzel's Craven, be like, yes, sir.
See, a lot of us would just be like, okay, I'm cautiously optimistic. Let's see the trailer. And then it's like, oh, shit, Denzel ain't fucking around. It's like, damn.
Imagine Equalizer and, like, Book of Eli Denzel as Craven.
Yo, in Book of Eli.
Fuck you.
Man,
and take my... Dude, come on.
that is true, man. Man.
He's not that some Russian accent. He can just be fucking Denzel.
That's what he did. It is Denzel. It's like, hey, Denzel, we need to do an accent. Nah, man, I'm good. I'm just going to be Denzel. All right, fuck it.
Yeah. We need to do an accent. Yeah, I'm going to do the Denzel accent.
It's like, all right. That's what's up.
Yep, all right.
Hey,
yes, sir.
I was saying at one point, though, and I know this is kind of a street-level bad guy and stuff, I was saying Denzel as Tombstone, if they ever...
Oh, fuck.
Oh, Frank. Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, you know what? You win.
You win that one. You got it.
Yeah,
I was sitting back, like, when Luke Cage got announced, I was like, Tombstone is, like, the perfect foil for Luke Cage. And I don't know if Netflix has the money to throw at Denzel, the fucking star, as Tombstone in a Luke Cage show, but yeah, I would have had, like, Denzel as Tombstone. Easy.
Oh, fuck. You win that one.
I mean,
God, I never even thought of that.
I mean, because, you know what? I remember somebody saying Ving Rhames as Tombstone. I'm like, that'd be actually be pretty cool, too. But Denzel as Tombstone would be even better. Easily.
Dude, listen, Ving Rhames is cool, but he's Denzel. You know what I mean? Come on. Ving Rhames is the shit. I like Ving Rhames, but he's fucking Denzel.
Yeah. I mean...
God damn. You win a day with that one.
Yeah. I think we really kind of covered everything with Homecoming, man. This is like I said, I am curious. Like I said, I think the next movie with him is going to be Infinity War, and you know, D23 is this weekend. And we the San Diego
down the street from my house.
Yeah, man. I mean, are you checking it out or?
If tickets are still available, I totally forgot about it. But if there are any tickets available, I definitely will.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I know San Diego is happening next week, and we're going there, so I'm pretty sure whatever happened at D23 is going to probably happen at Hall H, because apparently Marvel got like a literal 90-minute panel ending Hall H for the night. Well, I'm not even going to say they're ending it, because, you know, Kevin Smith pops up afterwards and stuff anyways, but like their Hall H is literally supposed to be 90 minutes this year, so I'm like, well, clearly we're getting Black Panther and Thor Ragnarok. They're pulling some shit out for fucking Infinity War. And Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Before you wrap up here, side question. I have one 2-part question and one side question. Black Panther.
All right.
Does that new mask kind of piss you off? With the little fucking angry eyebrows?
It put it this way, when we did that whole thing, we were talking about the teaser trailer, I did mention it's throwing me off, and I'm hoping that's not the final design. I'm hoping it's not.
I was like, why does he have like little fucking Batman 66 eyebrows? And I love that fucking costume from Civil War. That's one of the best costumes Marvel's ever done. But god damn, with those eyebrows.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's just, hey, they're early in production and they haven't tightened up the CG or whatever. Because, I mean, some of the costume was CG and stuff, so maybe they didn't tighten it up a bit. That's my assumption. I mean, what about you, Brian?
All right. Yeah,
I haven't seen that. I'm going completely radio silence on Black Panther shit.
Oh, yeah,
so like,
fair enough.
I'm actively avoiding everything from Black Panther right now.
Fair enough.
All right, two-part question. Number one, is Homecoming the best Spider-Man movie of all time? And part two, is Tom Holland the best Spider-Man / Peter Parker?
Okay.
You want to go first?
I go first. Okay, so I enjoyed the first two Raimi movies for what they are and stuff. I don't necessarily like I can appreciate the first movie as being like, you know, we say Blade is that movie that kind of like helped out with the superhero stuff, but like Spider-Man 1 was that movie that was like, oh shit, especially when you think back to that first trailer, the Super Bowl trailer with the fucking helicopter between that. Like, that movie had a fucking impact. Just kind of like Avengers 1, where it's like, oh my god, this is actually fucking happening. You know, and I think with 2, my memory of it is mainly with Dr. Octopus and Peter fighting on that fucking train. That was like best fight ever, easily. Like, it still holds up to this day. So with Homecoming, in terms of it having the full package, I would put it over a lot of those other movies in the grand scheme, because I think with the first 2 Raimi movies, they had like I said, that thing with the Goblin in the first Raimi movie, I get it because they wanted to try something different, but I wasn't feeling it.
You talking about fucking Power Rangers?
Yeah, and it's like, and I think Kevin Smith even said it himself. William Dafoe was already acting out the Goblin with his face. You didn't really need to fucking cover his face up with that mask and stuff. He was already doing it. So,
look at it. He's got an expressive face.
Yeah, so it's like when I look at Homecoming, there wasn't really much I could necessarily like. I can nitpick on things, but it was nothing really major because they did everything right. And some people might say that's safe, but I'm like, sometimes you have to sit there and do that in order to get people ease people back into the fold. So I will put it over the other movies just because it's easing people back in the fold. The second movie is going to tell the tale of where it's going to go. So for right now, Homecoming does kind of go over the other ones for me, at least.
And Peter Parker, Spider-Man?
Peter Parker as Spider-Man, I think that he does have the full thing. Like, he is Peter Parker and he is Spider-Man. Hopefully he gets a little bit of shit talking and stuff. He got a little bit with the bank robbers, but I want a little bit more shit talking with my Spider-Man, at least a little bit, just a little bit.
Right, he's 15 though. How good at shit talking were you at 15?
True. You're right. Forgot. So,
all right,
yeah. All right, Prime.
What about you?
All right, Boku no Tan. I really enjoyed Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2. Like, I love both of those movies a lot. The Spider-Man 3 was a thing. I did have a problem. Like, I know a lot of people shit on the first Amazing Spider-Man, but like, I honestly didn't have that much of a problem with it outside of the shitty lizard and his shitty motivations. And again, I really feel really bad for Andrew Garfield for being the George Lazenby of Spider-Man. And Spider-Man 2 was just a hot mess, and you can tell that was just a case of too many cooks in the kitchen, and like they were banking on this movie being a hit, so everyone and their grandma had their 2 cents on what would make the movie quote unquote successful. Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunate how that movie got sidetracked. I often said that the experience I had when watching The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was like watching a comic book unfold, because, you know, it had all those plot threads, it had the bright colors, the over-the-top action sequences, and all these interconnected and interweaving plot threads, except it was a very shitty comic book. It was a badly plotted, badly placed, badly planned comic book. Spider-Man Homecoming is like the same thing with Spider-Man 2, except good. You know, it had all the bright colors, the large action sequences. It was like it's the closest experiences I've had to seeing a comic book brought to life. And I know that's crazy now saying that in this day and age where we get like 26,000 comic book things in various different formats and mediums, but like I do think that is a thing that we should point out and celebrate. Kind of like how, you know, the Flash is, all intents and purposes, both the good and the bad, a comic book TV show. Like that's the experience of reading a comic book. And I feel that Spider-Man Homecoming has finally hit that perfect pitch. They finally got that formula just right, and they have given us a very good Spider-Man movie. Comparing it to and so now that all that out the way and said, comparing it to what we have now, I would say that it's my number 2 right now because Spider-Man 2 is my number 1. But I'm thinking like the more I see it in some time and distance, I can easily see it taking and being my number 1 because I enjoyed the shit out of the movie tremendously. Even like the few minor nitpicks I had with some of the the character choices and some of the MCU, how the integration had, like I said, it kind of rode that line of almost being on my nerves but not quite.
Yeah.
Even with those things notwithstanding, I still really, like I said, really enjoyed the movie. So it's my second favorite. Tom Holland Spider-Man, yes, he's perfect. Like I said again, they got the formula just right. They delivered us a Spider-Man peeled straight out of a comic book, and he is a tremendous actor. And I'm expecting really big things from Tom Holland, not just as Spider-Man, but like later on in his career, because I know Joe's been blowing smoke up his ass this whole podcast. But it's my turn. But it's my turn now because I really do like Tom Holland. I'm really glad that Sony locked him down to be Nathan Drake for Uncharted, because that means that's what we see too. That this kid is going to be really big.
Mm-hmm. Easily. Yeah. I mean, what about you, Joe? I mean, where does this stack up for you on the Spider-Man movie?
See, I actually went back and watched Spider-Man 1 and 2 last week because I bought that new TV so I watch it and see how it looks,
Yeah.
And when they first came out, because Spider-Man for me, Superman's always been my favorite. He's always been my number 1. But Spider-Man is a very, very close second for me because, number 1, he was, I was Peter Parker in high school. You know what I mean? I was that really nerdy, kind of awkward kid. And I've always said Spider-Man has the greatest costume in comics history because when you look at Batman, he's a white guy. You look at Superman, he's a white guy. Spider-Man, black, white, Asian, whatever, right? Uh-huh. So that character is, to me, the most beloved character of all time. Now to finally sit down and watch a movie as an adult, having this image of Peter Parker in my head for the past, 25 years, I watched Homecoming and I'm like, that's him. Toby, again, he was too old. Like, the movies are fine, but he sucks as Peter Parker. I really don't like, he's too old to be Peter Parker and he's too monotone to be Spider-Man. And, I think Andrew Garfield was a better Spider-Man Peter Parker than Toby. But Spider-Man 1 does not really hold up. If you watch it now, like the jokes and shit, you're like, God damn. Yeah. Spider-Man 2 is a little bit better. That train scene is still pretty awesome. Yeah. But again, when he has his mask off and they're like, he's just a kid, I'm like, no, he's fucking not. You can see stubble on his face.
It's like, man, he looks like my kid in college.
You mean your grad student? Your grad student in college?
Yeah,
that's what you mean?
No, fuck you. He got divorced, has 3 kids, and is now going back to school. That's what he looks like. So because now that you have Tom Holland to compare, you're like, God damn, he was old. He was fucking old. He was, 31? Something like that?
Yeah, I think he's like 30 when he did Spider-Man 1. I was like...
But, give Sam Raimi credit. Without those movies, we don't have Homecoming. So, I give him credit. The third one fucking happened. I liked Amazing Spider-Man 1. The second one had its issues, but visually I liked it a lot. Mm-hmm. This one, to me, it's hard to argue, man. This is, exactly ripped from an Ultimate book and, a Steve Ditko run. It's got all those things blended together, and I think the answer is in terms of, is Tom Holland the best Spider-Man? The mark for me is when I read a book, do I hear that person's voice? Like Batman, I hear Kevin Conroy. Superman,
easily.
I hear Christopher Reeve. Right? Now, I've been reading that new Spider-Man Worldwide. Now I hear Tom Holland.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
Well, kind of Tom Holland, but, deeper, because Peter Parker's, 30-something in those books, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, easily, man. I mean, and... Like I said, sky's the limit, man, for this movie and stuff. So with that, I want to thank you, Joe, for jumping on. This has been fun.
The Tom Holland podcast.
The Tom Holland podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's not Spider-Man Homecoming. It's Tom Holland spoiler reviews.
Me blowing smoke up his ass for 2 hours.
Thank you, Prime, for jumping in on this and stuff.
Hey, Joe Boo.
Yeah, definitely. Next time you probably hear us, we're going to be talking about The Flash. Season
Oh,
1 through
yes.
3. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting. Lots of things happening and stuff. You know what's funny is like we're talking about this. Like I said, I am amped for D23 in San Diego next week. Is going to be just, and not just for Marvel, just DC stuff too. Because I'm just amped up to see like Aquaman and all that shit happening and all the stuff from Marvel. Just everything happening in full circle and stuff, and Defenders and everything and stuff. So this is all going to be like ridiculous and stuff. Oh, actually, if I really want to have a last question for you guys. Now, here's the thing. Do you think anything, and I know Marvel keeps this shit on lock, but do you foresee anybody like leaking cell cam footage of anything from D23?
Of course.
Yep.
You
Of
know,
course.
because I don't
Yeah,
know. If
I mean-
Marvel, I don't know if Marvel has it on lock at D23 like they do at Comic San Diego. Because San Diego got that shit on lock. You bust out a cell phone, your fucking ass is gone. So, yeah.
You will see. I mean, they've already started leaking the banners of Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Today they showed, this is what Wasp looked like. Like, all right, cool. Like, they've already started doing that, but you're gonna see footage from whatever they're showing, Star Wars or whatever the fuck they're showing. Like, you're gonna see shit pop up online. It's I don't care how good security is, you can never avoid it.
I think the smartwatches is what is going to fucking avoid the security risk and stuff, because it's like smartwatches, nobody sees that shit fucking coming anyway. So yeah,
Yes, sir.
That is something. So, anyways, folks, we will check you guys later. Peace out.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Oh.
Later.